I turned 18 believing it meant something. My mom said it did. We'll do a small party. She promised a week earlier. Just family. You deserve that. I held on to that sentence like proof I mattered. The morning of my birthday, Lily slammed her door hard enough to rattle the hallway. It's not fair, she yelled. Everyone gets what they want except me. Mom's voice followed, already tired. Lower your voice. Lily, please. I stood in the kitchen, watching the clock, waiting for someone to say my name. Mom came in, phone pressed to her ear. She didn't look at me. We're canceling tonight, she said, covering the receiver. We can't risk upsetting her. I swallowed, canceling what she exhaled sharply. The celebration. Your sister's too fragile right now. I waited for the rest. The apology. The pause. It never came. Right after that moment, I need to say this clearly. The story you are about to hear is a fictional work created by the writing team of the channel Revenge World, inspired by real-life situations to convey lessons about family, emotion, and human values. All characters and events are illustrative. Lily appeared in the doorway, arms crossed. You're being dramatic, she said. It's just a day. Mom nodded, relieved to agree with her. We'll do something later, she told me, already turning away. Later was a word my family used when they meant never. Dad passed through, grabbing his keys. I thought you understood, he said quietly, as if understanding was my job. I went to work that afternoon and told no one it was my birthday. If this feels familiar already, stay with me. Listen closely. Stories like this don't start with shouting. They start with being erased. One quiet sentence at a time. I learned early that being quiet made things easier. When Lily cried, my mom would say, just give her a minute. When Lily screamed, my dad would mutter, she'll calm down. When Lily threw things, I was told, you're the older one. Be patient. At dinner that night, Mom set Lily's plate first. Eat something, she coaxed. You get moody when you're hungry. I reached for the bread. Lily shot me a look. That's mine. Mom didn't hesitate. Mia, let her have it. You don't need it. I stopped keeping track of how many times that happened. I just learned to move slower, speak softer, take up less space. When I brought home a good report card, Dad glanced at it and said, that's nice. Before turning back to Lily's school email, they think she might be overwhelmed. He explained, we have to be careful with her. Careful never applied to me. I was the one who reminded Mom about appointments, who knew where the insurance papers were, who picked up groceries when everyone was too exhausted from Lily's emotions. When I got tired, I told myself it didn't matter. I was fine. I always was. That's what they believed. That because I didn't fall apart. I didn't need holding together. Growing up like that doesn't feel dramatic. It feels practical. You learn to disappear without leaving the room. You learn that love is conditional and silence is rewarded, and by the time you notice what it costs, everyone else is already used to you paying it. I didn't announce that I was leaving. I packed while the house was asleep, folding clothes slowly so no one would hear. I took what fit in one bag and left the rest where it always was, waiting for me to come back and manage it. In the morning, Mom stood in the doorway as I slipped on my shoes. Where are you going? She asked. Already distracted. I'm staying with Grandma and Grandpa for a while, I said. She frowned. Why would you do that now? I met her eyes. Because I need space. She sighed, the sound she used when something inconvenienced her. Don't make this harder than it needs to be. Grandpa answered the door when I arrived. He didn't ask for explanations. He just took my bag and said, you can stay as long as you need. Grandma hugged me tightly, like she'd been waiting. That afternoon, my phone buzzed. A message from Mom. Where did you put the insurance folder? Another from Lily. Did you take my charger? I didn't answer right away. I sat at the kitchen table while Grandma poured coffee and Grandpa read the paper like nothing was wrong. It felt strange, being somewhere that didn't need me to hold it together. For the first time, I wasn't fixing anything. I was just gone. The first week away, my phone became louder than the house I'd left. Mom texted every morning. Have you seen the mail? Do you remember the login for the school portal? None of them asked if I was okay. At work, I poured coffee and kept my head down. Greg, the shift lead, noticed. You look lighter, he said. I'm just tired in a different way. I replied. During a break, I posted a short clip of a song I'd written months ago. One I never thought anyone would hear. Lily commented almost immediately. So you ran away because you didn't get your party? I stared at the screen. Mom liked the comment. That night, Dad finally called. Your sister's upset, he said. She thinks you're punishing her. I didn't leave to punish anyone. I said, well, it feels that way, he replied. Voice tight. Families don't disappear on each other. I hung up before I could explain myself again. At my grandparents' kitchen table, Grandma set a plate in front of me without asking what I wanted. Grandpa glanced over his glasses. They always needed you more than they admitted, he said quietly. Messages kept coming. The tone shifted from confusion to accusation. I didn't argue. I went to work, wrote music, and learned what it felt like to exist without managing everyone else's emotions. I didn't hear about the cracks from my parents. I heard about them from Susan, our neighbor. When she walked into the cafe one slow afternoon, she leaned across the counter and lowered her voice. Your mom looks exhausted, she said. Your sister screamed at the bus stop this morning. People stared. I kept my hand steady on the coffee cup. She's always emotional, I said. Susan shook her head. This is different. Your dad slept in his car last night. That night, Mom finally called. Your sister missed school again, she said. She wouldn't get dressed. I'm not there, I replied. I know, she snapped. That's the problem. The next message came from Dad. Do you remember the password for the insurance account? When I didn't answer, another followed. We have an appointment and can't get in. Lily sent a voice message, her voice sharp and panicked. This isn't funny. You're making everything worse. I didn't respond. At my grandparents' house, Grandpa set his phone down after reading one of the texts. They built their peace on your back, he said. Now it's gone. Mom called again, her voice breaking. We're barely holding things together, she said. I closed my eyes. I held things together for years. I answered. You just didn't notice. She went quiet. For the first time, no one rushed to fix the silence. The message came late at night. We need you to come home. It was from Mom. No apology. No question. Just a demand dressed up as concern. I called her instead of texting back. She answered on the first ring. This has gone too far, she said. Your sister is spiraling. Your father and I can't keep doing this alone. I didn't ask you to, I said. She inhaled sharply. You're being selfish. Families don't walk away when things get hard. I held the phone tighter. I didn't walk away when it was hard, I said. I walked away when it was only hard for me. There was a pause. Then her voice softened, the way it always did when she wanted something. Just come back for a few days. Help us reset. I'm not your reset button, I replied. She started crying. I don't recognize you anymore. I finally recognize myself, I said, and ended the call. I sat there shaking, not from fear, but from the weight lifting. For the first time, needing me didn't sound like love. It sounded like proof. Grandpa was the one who said it out loud. They won't stop, he told me, folding his hands on the table. Not until they can rewrite this so you're the problem again. Grandma nodded. If you're going to talk to them, it has to be on your terms. So I started preparing. Not like a scared daughter, but like someone gathering proof. I printed messages Mom had sent over the years. Don't push her today. Please understand your sister's mood. You're stronger than this. Each one landed harder on paper. I showed them to Grandma. She pressed a hand to her mouth. We should have seen it, she whispered. You did, I said gently. You just weren't allowed to say it. Then I played the voice message Lily had sent her friend months ago, the one she didn't know I still had. If I cry long enough, Lily's voice said, laughing, Mom cancels anything for me. She doesn't care who gets hurt as long as I calm down. The room went silent. Grandpa's jaw tightened. That's not fragility, he said. That's control. Dad texted again that night. Your mom wants to talk. She says she's ready to listen. I handed the phone to Grandpa. Not here. I said, not alone. Grandma squeezed my hand. You won't be standing by yourself this time. I took a breath. I wasn't rehearsing to be forgiven. I was getting ready to be heard. They were already there when I arrived. Mom sat rigid on the couch, hands clenched in her lap. Dad stood near the window, staring at the floor like it might open and save him. Lily leaned back in a chair, arms crossed, her expression bored and defiant. Mom spoke first. We're worried about you, she said quickly. You disappeared. Your sister has been falling apart. Dad added, This isn't like you. I sat down across from them, Grandpa beside me, steady and silent. You're right, I said. It isn't like the version of me you're used to. Lily scoffed. You left because you didn't get a party, she said. You're being dramatic. I looked at her. That's the story you need to believe. Mom turned to me, voice trembling. We were trying to keep the peace. You kept a pattern, I said. Peace for one person. Silence for the other. I pulled the papers from my bag and placed them on the table. These are your messages, I said, sliding them toward her. Every time something was supposed to be about me, she glanced down, color draining from her face. I didn't mean you did, I said calmly. You meant exactly what you wrote. Dad finally spoke. We thought you were strong. You mistook quiet for strength. I replied. I was breaking. I just did it quietly. Lily rolled her eyes. This is ridiculous. I pressed play. Her voice filled the room, light and careless. If I cry long enough, Mom cancels anything for me. She doesn't care who gets hurt as long as I calm down. Lily shot up from her chair. You had no right. Mom turned to her. Is that true? Her voice cracked. Lily's mouth opened, then closed. No one rushed to save her. I didn't leave to punish you, I said. I left because staying was destroying me. When my milestone birthday disappeared so you wouldn't be upset, I understood my place. I stopped accepting it. Mom started crying. What do you want us to do? I want you to stop asking me to fix what you refuse to change. I said, I'm not coming back to hold everything together. Dad nodded slowly. We failed you. I stood. I'm not asking you to erase the past. I'm telling you the future won't include the version of me you could ignore. No one stopped me when I walked to the door. Grandpa rose with me, a quiet shield at my side. The room stayed silent behind us, heavy with truths that finally had nowhere to hide. I didn't go home after that. I went back to work. Greg looked up when I walked in and nodded once, like he understood without asking. You good? I'm steady, I said. It felt true. That night, Grandma called. Your mom hasn't stopped crying, she said gently. I know. I replied. She's finally sitting with it. So am I said, and we let the silence settle without fixing it. Dad texted a few days later. I'm proud of you for speaking up. I read it, didn't reply, and didn't feel guilty about that either. I kept writing music. Short songs at first, honest ones. People started listening, not because the story was loud, but because it was familiar. One comment stayed with me. Sometimes choosing yourself is the bravest ending. If you're still listening to this, stay with it. Stories like mine don't end when the door closes. They keep unfolding in quiet choices, in boundaries held, in lives rebuilt without applause. If this resonates, follow along. Share it with someone who needs to hear they aren't invisible. That's how stories like this find the people they're meant for. I didn't forgive them. I didn't cut them off forever. I just stopped shrinking. When I turned off my phone and picked up my guitar, the room felt balanced in a way it never had before. For the first time, my life wasn't waiting for permission to begin.